Um, so with the change out of the nurses, you're gonna see they want to do things differently with their habits. But there are doctor's orders, and there are habits that are already in place for when I'm supposed to get things. I've shown you guys when I know I'm getting I get my steroid at some point in time, and then 2 hours after that, then that's when I get my chemotherapy, and then I have my kidney medicine that's only that comes at a certain time to protect my kidneys against the steroid and the chemotherapy that's going on. Um, and I have different phosphorus things that they have to give me, and some are supposed to be done through intravenous, and some initially were done through the mouth, which I told them was pointless. I told them that the first night when they gave me steroids to the mouth, it was ridiculous because it kept me up all night and I hiccuped all night, and they fixed that. Now even now, my steroids are gone, but of course they're in my system. I'm not hiccuping. I'm not going through all this ridiculous stuff that I did with the pill steroids. They gave me like 10 pill steroids. Just, dude, I got this machine here. Plug it up, put it in the machine, and give it to me. It spaces it out. So I have to pull them up on those things and correct them. So much so that my doctor now, in the morning when we go through reviews, we have a board here that you probably seen look at before, and it tells things that's going on throughout the day, and then I write questions on them so that when they come for rounds in the morning, I fire questions back at them every day to make sure I'm in full control and knowledge of what they're giving me. Um, so they don't play it. They know that Sir Green is on top of his stuff. Um, and then my doctor asked me questions. He's like, "Okay, Mr. Green, we realized you haven't peed last night for 6 hours. How do you want to handle it?" Okay, I said, "Listen, let's get to 12 o'clock. And at 12, if I haven't done the right amount of cc's of urine, then let's do this and move this along." 12 o'clock came, and my nurse, who was on at the time, didn't do what he was supposed to do. I told Andre to call, and she's probably not putting names in here, but I told the nurse to call and order my urine-inducing drug. He did until like 7. I was furious. And then my next nurse came on, and she kind of got it all done, and we moved things along, and I'm still kind of fixing some of those things right now from that. But in that process, I kind of really just solidified to them the next morning that, look, don't play with this. This is what we said, and this is what we agree with it. This is the plan. I meet my doctor once a day when he goes through for rounds, and we have a plan, and that's what we follow. We don't deviate. Now, I'm changing nurses. That nurse, the female nurse, she's off for like 3 days, and I'll probably be gone by the time she gets back. I think my cycle will be over then. And Andre, the one you met earlier, he's actually off for 3 days, so I won't see him again either. I'm quote unquote training a new nurse right now. She came here tonight. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna do your vitals every 2 to 4 hours." I'm like, "Are you out of your mind? I gotta sleep." My vitals were set for 6 hours. I said, "Look, you're gonna go ahead. You're gonna call the doctor. You're gonna check that. Because my vitals are 6. Check it out. I'm going to sleep." All right. Oh, the only reason why I'm up right now is because we did a small version of vitals at 12. Time is now like 1:05 right now. When you do your vitals, you can't really sleep. So she checked it and all that stuff, and they shifted my vitals to being every 8 hours. What does that mean? I get to sleep a little longer, which is unheard of when you're in hospital. You don't get like 4 hours to sleep straight. You just don't. But she didn't want to do my weight last night, and weight is a major part of this right now, so I can judge the fluids that are going in and when they're coming out. So I have to call her up and then call up the nursing attendant and be like, "Listen, my weight needs to be drawn. It's 9 o'clock. Draw my weight." She's waking up. I got it done. I had to have a different nurse do it. And she's understanding that, look, I can't play with this guy. I can't play with him. He's on point. And when she comes in here to do my things, I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're bringing this in, right? You're bringing my whatever drug it is, and that's my kidneys, right?" She's like, "Yeah, how do you know that?" The bottom line is, I gotta do this thing for 8 months. By the time this is done, I'm gonna know my kid better than anyone. I know it pretty well now. I almost have the drug names down packed. I know what they can hook them on. I know we're gonna set this little electronic thing at. I could probably program this thing if I want to. I'm leaving it alone. I haven't touched it. But the moral of the story is, this is my life on the line, and no one knows me better than me. Now, I don't want to challenge the doctor. to tell him to not do something. But I do want to tell him to make sure that he's doing the best thing for me, and in letting him know that I understand what's going on, and I'm clued into what he's doing. He really thinks, and they all will think twice about how they're going to just up and just change. And while this too is a teaching institution, which it is, and I have the attendings coming through with at least 2 residents every morning, and it reminds me of my eye doctor's visits, they also understand that surgery is a different kind of patient. And I'm taking charge of my miraculous recovery. This will be miraculous when I get through it all, and it will, with God's help. So my moral for you right now is, if ever you're in a situation like this, or even any doctor situation, try your best to understand what they're doing with you at all times. Ask questions. It's your right. It's your body. It's your life. I do it simply because it started all out with an eye exam, and it capitalized off with ladies and some nurses laughing and joking when I'm delivering my baby girl Sunday in 2000. So when it comes to medical stuff, I don't play games at all, which is probably why I've never been in the hospital for the first 44 years of my life. And I'm gonna walk out of here. I'm gonna walk out of here every month fine and better than before. I got people praying for me. I mentioned that to the doctors when they came this morning, how this thing with my neck here is part of the miraculous recovery, and they kind of brushed it off. But that's a whole other thing I'll do. I'll go through that one about how in an instance like this, if you're saved, the doctors can't really tell you that, because they have to believe in their medicine before they believe anything else. But there's some things that happen here with some nurses that we know that they're saved and whatnot. And I want to tell you the whole story because we've kind of come across a couple, and they have subtle ways to let you know if they're saved or not. It's really, really funny. But yeah, I think I'm done. The moral for you is just, if you end up in any situation like this, take charge of your medical care. Know what's going on. Do your best to tune in. Question your doctors. Question your nurses. Because the nurses are so much of a vital part of the process, not just doctors. Doctors come in and they say one thing one time, and the nurses carry all those orders out throughout the course of the day. And these nurses are intelligent. They're sharp. They know their stuff. They know some things that the doctors don't know because they have to administer all these drugs to you. They are your really first line of defense. Yes, know them, befriend them, don't belittle them, work with them, and you find that things will go very, very smooth. I'm looking forward to my training of a new nurse right now, the next 4 hours, and I'll get a new nurse for this next 8-hour thing and have to work with her and get her on the right track, or him, on the right track. But it's all good. That's why this is the most important posting yet. This is for you. Alright? Alright, I'm out of here. I'm going to stop this and upload it. It's now 1:10 in the morning. This is a 17, 18-minute video. I really hope you all watch it. The most important video ever. Well, thus far. Alright, here we go.